You know, feminists have been onto something when they call out toxic masculinity. Hell, those of us who pay attention in history class to the current events know how women have been treated like second-class citizens. Whether it be in third world countries or our quote-unquote free country. Women have dealt the worst of it throughout history. But that doesn't stop guys like me from having my own beef with toxic masculinity. One of my biggest pet peeves, being told to man up. Word of advice. If someone declares to you that men don't cry, tell them to kiss your ass. All of us men are goddamn human beings. We, like anyone, have feelings. I cannot stress this enough due to how society used to, and still occasionally, shove down our throats that men are supposed to be as tough as stone and shouldn't shed a tear, claiming it will make you look weak and feminine. Oh no, I've cried. Sue me. Having to adhere to this rule will only eat you up inside, especially those with major anxieties, phobias, insecurities, and any other mental blocks that may affect us. You want to know the truth as to why men act all tough? Because at our core, us guys are insecure. You got your douchebags out there who feel the need to show off their toughness, confidence, and assertiveness to feel like hot stuff. And when it doesn't work in their favor, it throws them off and may even break them. Maybe even doing something irrational they don't get their way. Look at the average incel and see how they operate. Plus, look at chodes like Andrew Tate. Speaking of Tate, reading his tweets where he acts so stupidly boastful just screams insecurity. Like, dude, the hell are you trying to compensate for with these brain dead tweets? But, whatever, he taints everything around him anyway. Then there's the typical dude bro likes and dislikes, such as sports, cars, and hunting, just to name a few. Now look, this isn't to knock on anyone's hobbies. We all have our own, and they're more often not valid. I just personally don't give a damn about these and would appreciate if others didn't pester me about them. I don't nerd out for sports, nor do that fantasy team junk. I only see cars as a necessity to get around and won't waste my breath bragging about my wheels. And I just don't get the appeal of nabbing some game unless it had to be for survival. If anything, I'm just a guy who nerds out about video games, comic books, and pop culture. Sadly, whenever I mention video games to a dude bro, they mention how they play a lot of Call of Duty, one of the most bare-bone, repetitive dude bro games out there that has overstayed its welcome and gives me secondhand embarrassment for how it's more mainstream than franchises that define the industry. At least mostly 4 to 10 years ago. Another gripe of mine is how men should lead, have the final say, be in control. Why? Just because men are the physically superior sex? Again, doesn't mean we're all mentally sound. Unless it's something I know how to handle and walk people through, you may never see me as a commanding officer, head of states, or, dare I say, a family man. The thought of such roles is just too much pressure and makes me scared of ever abusing such power. Especially with the third one, considering my autistic ass can barely even handle being around kids in general. Then there's the way men try to assert themselves onto women. From approaching them to flirt when they're not even welcoming, to even full-on assault. Now I'll admit, I'm guilty of trying to approach girls the wrong way, only to make the scene uncomfortable. But I've reevaluated and learned from my mistakes. Never doing such things ever again. And looking back on them with deep embarrassment when I think about them. Can't say the same for those self-titled alphas who force their way onto women just to get what they want instead of understanding what the woman wants. And speaking of women, the final thing that gets under my skin is the treatment of all women. They've always been treated as inferiors, viewed as sex objects, dismissed of ever being seen as strong, having opinions, or displaying authority, at least outside of being mothers and or teachers. Yes, we as a society have grown past this BS after the waves of feminist movements and whatnot that helped bring women forward. Unfortunately, we still have psychos and douchebags who undervalue women to a point where they suggest take away their right to vote. This is despite how women have shown their worth as much as men. It's especially bad with how trans women get it. Because of false stigmas and negative assumptions, all trans women are either seen as a danger, perverts, or a mockery of cis women. None of these are the case. They are simply women living as women, wanting nothing more than to belong and live in peace. I can attest to this. There are trans women I follow or befriended who are sweet, gentle, and adorable, and a few who are assertive and cool. They don't simply pass as women, they are women, not guys in dresses who prey on women and young girls like out-of-touch miserable fecal matter try to lead you to believe. Sadly, you can't use this to convince TERFs, especially with the history of male chauvinism that has given them such a crappy mindset. All in all, I'm tired of the old notions of having to be a man, and hate how it's negatively affected everyone both then and now. We progressed to where it's not as bad as it was centuries or even decades ago, but god damn, there are parts of the planet that are still backwards on these ideas. Plus those in the free world who have attempted to hold us back. Here's to the day that toxic masculinity officially dies out, thus bringing us a step closer to all being equal. I hope y'all enjoyed this. This was something I really wanted to get off my chest, considering bits of my upbringing, plus just seeing a bunch of slime balls being pushed in such a gross way. Like, comment, subscribe, and as always, peace out.